Good afternoon, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is June 27th, 2023. There's a passage in John chapter 11 that talks about the resurrection of Lazarus, or Lazarus being raised from the dead. And there's an interesting statement in John chapter 11 about a day of equal parts. So the first thing that I see is that this is in verse 9. Quite interesting that John chapter 11, verse 9, or 9:11, says, Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep." So very interesting that the resurrection of Lazarus may be connected to this day of equal parts. Are there not 12 hours in the day? Now, if we want to understand the day of equal parts, the equilux is drawn from the Latin terms for equal, equa, and light. The day of equal parts, or the day of equal light. So how do we find out which dates fit the description and qualify as true equal day and night? To measure the day-night split in a 24-hour span, astronomers use common definitions of sunrise and sunset. Simply put, sunrise is defined as when the first bit of the sun's disk appears, and sunset is when the last bit of the disk vanishes. Calculating the length of day between these two moments, we find that 2 dates every year reach equilux in most latitudes. In the northern hemisphere, these happen a few days before the spring equinox and a few days after the autumn equinox. South of the equator, it's the other way around. So what is the equilux? Twice a year, day and night reach a perfect balance of 12 hours each, creating a little-known event called the equilux. There is a very subtle difference between the equinox and the equilux. They are close, but they are not quite equal. Many of us think that an even balance of day to night happens during an equinox. After all, the word translates as equal night. So a little confusion is understandable. But there's a subtle time difference between an equinox and an equilux. And as we shared earlier, the equilux in the spring happens a few days before the spring equinox, and the equilux in the fall happens a few days after the fall equinox. Okay, so the day of equal parts in the fall is September 25th. September 25th would be the equilux during the fall equinox timing. The equilux is September 25th. Now a certain man was sick, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha. It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Jesus heard that, he said, This sickness is not unto death, but the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. When he had heard therefore that he was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then after that saith he to his disciples, Let us go into Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again? Jesus answered, Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may wake him out of sleep. Then when Jesus came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. 4 days already. So, very interesting that from the fall equinox on September 21st to the equilux on September 25th is 4 days. And Jesus mentions the day of equal parts. Are there not 12 hours in the day? Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? And so this whole connection to the resurrection of Lazarus, or to the raising of the dead of Lazarus, is now being connected to the resurrection at the last day. So Equilux in 2023, September 25th, 2023, lines up on the Hebrew calendar with the Day of Atonement. The Day of Atonement. Could this be the day for the resurrection of the body of Christ? Jesus saith unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. The Day of Atonement. 4 days after the fall equinox. From September 21st, maybe marking the death of Lazarus, and Lazarus being raised from the dead 4 days later, on the day of equal parts, September 25th, 2023, the Day of Atonement. Just to give everybody an understanding, the Day of Atonement will not fall very often on September 25th. The Day of Atonement shifts each year based on the Hebrew calendar. Only this year in 2023, the Day of Atonement lands on September 25th. I do not know how long it has been since the Day of Atonement has been on September 25th, or how long it will be until this happens again. But in this year, this lines up. Are there not 12 hours in the day? I pray you guys are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.